All right,
Welcome back.
we're back from
We're
part
back.
two over here on my world, my corner of YouTube. We are back with Sarah, my co-host, co-pilot,
Co-pilot.
something like that, and Lynn Wilsey is our guest. She is the guru of how to be a virtual assistant and many other things. I've recently just found out that she's Pinterest queen. Um, and, so that's how I say it, Pinterest, whether it's right or wrong. But yeah, so I'm super glad we did this whole stop thing. So I just got to say that right now, because like last week's was a little confusing, and everybody's gonna have a some lap that they're gonna have to scroll through. But
That's okay. When we last left off, we were talking about things to cut or not cut, things to add into your pricing if you're a virtual assistant, your different subscriptions that you pay for to do your job, and the different services that you have to pay for. Like if you're charging someone an invoice through PayPal, that PayPal takes a fee, all the different fees that come out. And this is right in Cheryl's wheelhouse. So
absolutely.
Cheryl, tell us how, as a virtual assistant, you can make and save some money with this,
All right,
or
so
deduct.
one of the things that that I was picking up was that as a virtual assistant, you have to figure out, all the things that you are going to need to spend money on. And you may end up having to add a few things in based on the client that you procure. So knowing what all of your expenses are, kind of dividing them out so that it's more of a, maybe it's a per day, maybe it's a per hour, so that you have this little smaller chunk of dollar amount that you can easily work into a project. Because I'm going to tell you, you've got to deal with trying to get these people to understand how to price themselves. The prices that I am hearing some people say, it's like they're trying to get one client to pay for their entire lifestyle, and I'm sitting there going, wait, um, yeah, I don't care how much time you're saving me, you're not saving me that much time.
Right.
um so yeah, I mean, breaking it down so that you understand truly what is it's costing you out of pocket to do this, and then realizing that you want to build your clientele and starting with something that you are really good at, very strong in. That way you are really saving your client time. You're not expending your own time outside of your comfort zone. Those are definite things. um One of the things that I heard you mention was networking, and realizing that we're talking about networking is like near and dear to my heart. I could do it all the time. I love saying, "Hey, yeah, I know a person that fits that."
Mhm.
And you are in a unique position, Lynn, with your group and your how to be a virtual assistant and all these people that you are training. And when you find one like that diamond for Pinterest, or that diamond for Facebook, or that diamond for YouTube, then you can literally have your own networking. When somebody comes in, and you can say, yes, I know just the person for you, and they should be looking to network with each other to provide the packages to do exactly what you've been teaching, and to which is to not do an hourly rate, but to provide a package deal, so that the the client feels more comfortable coming back. Because it's not like it's a one-off thing. Most of the time, this is something like you're going to you're going to do this package. And if you do it at a fair amount,
Right.
and you do a good job, then that client's going to come back and get you to do it again. So yeah, networking within your group and having what's it, like a Rolodex type thing?
Yeah.
Goodness, that's my age. Um,
Do you find that you do that a lot with the people in your group, or do they ask each other or say, "Hey, does anyone? I don't do this, but I do this. Does someone like want this
Yeah, and I
job?" Or
definitely suggest that too. If I'm not taking a client or I'm not familiar with accounting, I would never take on an accountant like that. But I have someone that I can refer them to because I have networked and made those connections. And, I always share that you should not say yes to every single person. Not everyone is a good fit for you, whether it for whatever reason they're just not. And you can't say yes to everyone. There are not enough hours in the day. There are some people you just don't want to work with. There might be a niche that you don't want to work with. So not only networking with people who do other things, but also, I also refer other people to other Pinterest virtual assistants because I can't take everyone on. And I'm not in everyone's budget either. I've been doing it a lot longer than somebody who's just getting started out. So we're definitely charging different things. We might offer different things. So having that kind of like, the yellow pages of, okay, well, I have, if you look under Pinterest, okay, who do I know that could help you with that? Who do I and I try to get to know people because I love connecting other people. That's just a passion of mine in general. But knowing enough about the person that I'm referring them to say, okay, they might be a good fit personality wise as well. Like it's not just a transaction, but they'll also, get along with each other and just make it a pleasant experience overall that way.
how do you get like how do you get breakthrough or determine um the cost of living in California is much different than the cost of living where I live in Indiana. So how how does that what do you suggest for people that want to be a virtual assistant, but then, well, my client in California, do then they say, oh, I can charge more because I know that person is paying $35 an hour, for their regular work person, and the person in Indiana is paying $10 an hour because that's the cost of living there. Do you tell people that kind of like they can do that, or how does that work?
So my price is my price. Wherever you live or whatever you do, that's my price. I have definitely gotten and heard that advice. I have had people refer clients to me and I just roll my eyes and they say, "Oh, this client has a lot of money. It's okay to charge them more." Well, no, it's not. That's not right. That's not fair. No, no, it's not. Um, but my price is my price. And I think that's one of the hardest things coming into the virtual assistant world. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but if you're hiring, for example, a Filipino VA who could work for $2 an hour, as opposed to me who, or a virtual assistant here who might charge 10, 12, $25 an hour, that's a big difference. And that's something that you as a business owner definitely have to take into account too. Um, there might be language barriers. There's definitely a time difference barrier depending on where you are. I have hired virtual assistants from other countries. I had a horrible experience. One time, I was building my agency and hired another virtual assistant, and they went behind my back and poached some clients from me. So you have to be, because they were in another country, all the contracts that I thought I was protecting myself and my business with were not enforceable. So you definitely have to think about all of those things as well. Um, there's lots to consider when you're hiring a virtual assistant, but my prices don't change, and I wouldn't necessarily suggest somebody else change their prices based on where they are or where their clients are. That's one of the benefits of doing this work from home, is that you can work from anywhere. So my prices don't change based on that.
I like the idea of a package and the package prices. I think that is a more is fair for both parties, you know. And I think it is important that you also, when you're pricing, you think, um, this may take me 2 hours, but it's really a job that takes 10 hours, you know, but
Right.
because
And that's
it's,
why,
yeah,
yeah, I suggest that you do something that you know how to do, because you're not going to short yourself. Because if I told the client I can do it in 2 hours, I've got to figure that out. If it takes me 10 now, I'm working 8 hours for free, because chances are good I'm not going back to that client. They're not going to want to pay me for another 8 hours because I messed up. That's my fault. That's part of running a business as far as I see it. So you want to pick something that you know you have some knowledge about. This is only going to take me 2 hours, so I'm comfortable charging at this rate. Um, Now, if a client comes back and says, I want you to add on XYZ, then that's a whole nother conversation to renegotiate a price or things like that. But yeah, you don't want to short yourself ever. I mean, nobody should work for free. That's not right.
right.
Everyone, I literally had this scenario yesterday. I reached out to someone about a job. They came back with a price. They had my location, they had pictures of the area. I provided more pictures of the area. They gave me a price, and then they tried to up the price. They tried to say that there was that we could do a package deal, which package deal to me means it's going to be a lesser amount of money
Right.
than what you just listed out if I take all of it.
Right. Absolutely.
They ended up requesting more money from me because they realized I was further away from them than what they assumed. They had my address. They could have checked it. They'd had my address for over a week between the time that I first got in touch with them until until I sent them the pictures. So I was like, yeah, I don't I we're just gonna back burner this for now. And they came back, well, if it's just the $25, no, it wasn't the $25. And I literally spelled it out. Look, I'm an accountant. I teach people how to do this for a living. And the one thing that you never do is let the client know when you screwed up your pricing. You find another way to fix it for yourself, or you eat it.
Mm-hmm.
It
Yeah.
happens with in reselling world all the time. People will accidentally send an offer for lower than what they meant to send it for, and then they're like, oh man, what do I do now? You just send the product. You eat it and chalk it up to a learning experience. Speaking of all this accounting and bookkeeping, do you talk to your people about the fact that it's an actual business, that you it's the whole side hustle thing, it's an actual business, um that they need to do their bookkeeping, that they need to keep track of all their expenses, that they want to claim the income, because then they have the ability to move some of their personal, personal bills into their business. I mean, do you bring that up at all with your trainees?
Yeah, absolutely. I try to make it very clear that if you're going to do this, it's a business. It's your business. So you get to make most of the rules, but there are also other rules that you have to follow that the government sets out that are just non-negotiables most of the time. And you have to account for all of those things. You know, if you are going to do this, you know, part of your budget should be an accountant, an attorney. You know, you need to think about those different things. Do you need to consult with an attorney to get legal contracts drawn up for your business to use with your clients? Do you need to set up an LLC for your company? Do you need to sit down with an accountant to figure out hiring employees? Can you pay your kids? There's a lot of questions that you might have about your business that I'm certainly not qualified to answer, that you probably shouldn't just go to Google and trust that answer. You need to find a trusted, relevant professional who knows what they're doing and who understands. And that's really hard a lot of times, is to find people who understand like the side hustle stuff, number one, and number two, doing things online. A lot of, you know, traditional accountants or attorneys don't understand that as much as they should, and it's a little bit different. So
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Everybody listen to what Lynn just said. Oh, please. Yes. Yes. There, there's so many account and they're like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then they look and they literally will tell the people, I'm sorry, I can't help you. That's not, you know, or they will try to put the online business person into the box of a retailer that has a brick and mortar shop, and it does not work.
right.
Absolutely does not work. There's been a lot of, for the newer online business, there's a huge amount of gray area in the Internal Revenue Code. They are adding things in, but these are things that you know, a tax strategist, an accountant needs to stay up on, and most of them are
Right.
very, very comfortable. They're set in their ways. They're not going to do the training. So yes, it's hugely important to find someone that can listen, can explain, can translate all the things.
And yeah, and someone that can understand what you're trying to tell them. I see so many places online where people start and they want to they say they want to start a business, or they start a business, or they start making money, and then they're like, oh, this is more than $100 here, $100 there. And they're, okay, well, now I need to be an LLC. And I'm like, stop the presses. Just because like you're making things 12 times harder than you need to. And I think people understand, they don't understand what they need to know, you know, especially when they're starting out. And, you know, they understand their niche, but they don't understand how to have a tax strategist, and how to say, this is, you can have a business without it being an LLC. You know, that is throwing yourself into a world of hurt trying to jump hurdles, you know. So yeah, very
Yeah, there were
important.
definitely a lot of people who have gotten, you know, 1099s in the past few weeks who were like, wait a second, I pay taxes on this? And I'm like, yeah, we've talked about this. Please.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a job. It's not, you know, you're not doing this for cash under the table. You're not trying to skirt. You still have to follow the rules.
Right. And the thing about it is, a lot of these people, either themselves or they have a spouse that has a W-2. And when they do, this is like the new business, it's huge. It's like, oh, yay, it's a new business. All right, let's dig in and see what we can, how we can zero out all of your income, get it in the negative, and help out your spouse so that you can get a refund, or maybe a bigger refund. Yeah, it's like all the brand new businesses. That's where I love. Let me open your mind to the
Well,
possibilities.
yeah, people don't realize how many things that they can write off. Like Lynn, you were talking about, okay, well, this service, you need to add this into your price. Well, then at the back end, at the back end, you need to be keeping track of that because
Mhm.
you can deduct that. This is a subscription. This is a learning tool. This is a thing that you used for your business. In the,
Yeah,
what
and
is it?
one thing that I recommend just on like a very surface level, because I'm not a tax finance person, I always suggest just go start a new bank account. It will make your life easier. Let your income come in that way. Pay all of your business expenses from that way. Use a savings account to pull out tax money. Like set yourself up that way and make life easier. Keep it all in one little bubble if you can, because it's a lot to keep up with every single day. And, but tax time comes once a year for most of us. So, I mean, I've been caught at the end where I'm like, let me print out my bank statement and figure out which one of these business things, because I didn't set it up right from the beginning.
Yeah, I'm amazed in our reselling world how many people are like, well, it's been 2 years, so I think I'm gonna set up a separate account now. And I'm like, what are you doing? Lynn is my hero. That up. That's awesome.
I was like, wait,
Awesome.
oh, I can actually say it. I was sitting there thinking, I need to make banners like, oh, my hero, or, oh, these signs that I can hold up. And I'm like, wait, I can do that.
So tell us about what a couple more side hustle ideas for people. You were saying that you have a blog and you do social media posts. So there could be a person that as a side hustle just does social media posts for someone.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, depending on, what your skill level is, you could go into Canva and make a bunch of, cute little graphics with quotes on them or questions to get your group interactive or your Facebook feed. Um, you could just make the templates and sell those. You could go in and schedule people's actual Facebook or Instagram posts. You can write people's newsletters, write blog posts for them, edit blog posts for them. There's a lot of different things, that you can do virtually, so you don't ever have to be around people if you don't want to. If you want to stay in your house, I'm not opposed to that. But there's a lot of different things. I mean, even just from there are like colleges and employers and things like that that will hire you to like moderate a co-working session or moderate a Zoom to make sure that people are staying on task and that there's not spammers in there. Well, heck, I'm online anyways, sitting here. I might as well keep my eye on your Zoom for you if you're going to pay me. There's lots of different things. You can get really creative. I know a lot of people right now, there's a lot of buzz about people who will read books for you and write the book review so that you can, post it on, your different, there are some book talk people or bookstagram people who like to have all of those reviews of new books that come out, but you can only read so many books in a day. So they will hire somebody to read the book for them and write a review. Or, if that's your thing, go for it. If you love reading, that's a great way to do it. And it's a lot of, if you don't want to have to do that yourself, but you love reading, that's a great way to read and still, do something that you're enjoying, but still get that content out. And you don't have to deal with the whole aspect of having the whole blog and business and social media and do all of that. So it's kind of, nice if you enjoy writing, but you don't want to have to do a whole blog. You can write blog posts for other people and sell them. You can go to Amazon and get a link of, 15 things you need for this summer and find 15 Amazon products and sell that to somebody who's creating content, and they can turn those into affiliate links. And, that's a blog post. That's a pin for Pinterest. It's all those things. So there's a lot. And once you start getting into it, you're like, oh, I could do that. Oh my gosh, I could do that. I could design business cards for people. You might do a virtual business card now. There's lots of different things that you could do.
Do you find that your people, and my mind is blown with all those ideas, like I said one or two and you gave like 50, so that's cool. There's a sneak peek of what you will find when you join Lynn's free
Sorry.
Facebook group. No, I was like, whoa, okay. Um, and I totally forgot what I was going to say. So where I was going with that, it's not a problem. It happens all the time. It's age. But that's
Oh
cool.
no, if I don't write it down, I forget it. So
But
totally
okay.
get that.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you, Cheryl. I got it. I got it all written down. Okay, so you've got a VA challenge coming up.
Yep.
And that is going to be soon. And they can start at what if they're just watching can they get in on day 2? Would that be a problem?
Yeah,
Or
absolutely. You can sign up anytime during the challenge, and you'll have access to all the course materials and replays and all of that stuff. So you can, if you're watching this anytime, you can still sign up for the challenge and still get access. If it's after the challenge, it just won't be live. You'll just have access to the replays, but all of the other content as well.
do you have other things that are not free that you have built? Like if people want more, they need more from you. Do you have do you have other like products that people could get from you?
Yeah, so right now I have a self-guided course that is a little bit more in depth to like it does take more than 3 days to set up your entire business. You can definitely do that. If you want more hand holding, I have a membership. And so I add new things to that every single month. And I also take time to go through different skills that I have and that I've learned as a virtual assistant to show them so they can either use those skills in their own business or learn the skill and offer it as something to their clients as well.
Okay, so you do have a membership. I didn't
Yes.
I didn't know. Okay, so you do have a membership. Okay.
Yeah. And then there'll be a Pinterest course coming soon. That's in the works.
I feel like I need to find someone to take the Pinterest course, do my Pinterest. Is that
I
I
have
feel
a
like
couple people in my group and my membership right now that their clients have paid for them to be in the membership or to have taken the course to say, okay, one of them is a friend who's hired someone else to help run their business. And she was like, okay, my friend wants to be a virtual assistant. I'm willing to have her work for me, show her how to be a virtual assistant. And so they've purchased the course or the membership to say, okay, I know now you know what to do. Do it for my business kind of a
that's a
thing. So
that's a great add-on too. Like if someone is in a I'm going to write your blog post niche, and then they say the person says, well, what else can you do? I want this done and this done. Well, yeah, I can. I do have a course I can take. Would you be willing to pay for it?
mhm.
That that is genius. That that's amazing. Uh-oh, Cheryl's got something. She's
Well,
thinking.
I'm just thinking, be careful.
Uh-huh.
Stay in your niche, you'll be most successful. Although learning something new for one person that you can build on with that one person. Don't go off and offer it to everybody else. Give it time, but that's I was just thinking, I hired my daughter to do some things for me, and I'm like, if she's willing to do this, I just need to pay for her to be in the course, and so she can learn more virtual assistant stuff and do more stuff for me. Like,
Yes.
do you have a course, or do you have a person that is very good at managing email?
Yeah, like as far as managing it to write emails and get them to go out, or like
No.
inbox zero situation,
Look,
incoming emails.
I have like 4,000 emails, and Lynn, remember back around Black Friday when all of the Black Friday stuff came out?
Oh, yeah.
So I probably 3,000 of those emails is from that period of time there in Christmas when everybody was giving stuff away.
Right.
It's all stuck in my email, and I need it downloaded into my Dropbox. I tried to explain that to my daughter and she's like, what? I don't want you to go through all of the things. I just want you to go find the things with attachments and download them and stick them in my Dropbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally, I
need
mean,
that.
that is awesome to be able to hire somebody to do that. And it's good that you have clear direction and a clear goal, because I do run into that a lot of times too, where they'll be like, I need you to help me with my email. Okay, but what does that look like for you? Where are we going from here? What direction are we going in? Or they'll say, well, I want all this stuff out of my emails. I downloaded all this stuff, but then they don't have a plan of what they're going to do with it. You know, do you want it in a Google Drive folder? Do you want it separated inside of that Google Drive folder? Do you need everything on a spreadsheet so you can search and find what you're looking for with a link to the Google Drive folder? Do you want, you know, how far do you want to take this? Do you want it to go on your Trello board or in Asana or, you know, ClickUp, whatever you're using? Having that forethought. And that's why, you know, if somebody's looking to bring on a new client, I very rarely will just say yes to someone unless I know them and their business. I always do some kind of just a quick Zoom to get to know more about them, because one thing that I've learned throughout the years is that someone will say, I need help with my emails. And when we sit down to talk about what that looks like, they don't need help with their emails at the end of the day. They need help getting organized and learning where things are, or I had a client who was like, well, I just email myself a reminder every day. Okay, but then what? Do you do anything with, like, what's the next step? And it wasn't that she needed help cleaning out her email box because she was creating her own problem filling up her email box. She needed a system to get organized. Somebody to go in and go through and unsubscribe to the things that she was not ever reading. Figuring out where things were so that she didn't have to remind herself, oh, go find this link in this Google Drive and do XYZ. So that always, you know, that's something to definitely think about if you're looking to get into being a virtual assistant. Make sure that you're accounting for being able to do that little, you know, it doesn't have to be long, 15 minutes, a half an hour at the most thing, but that also goes back to pricing too, is make sure that, you know, it's free. You're not charging them necessarily to meet with them, but that should be part of their, you know, package price that you're giving them, is that 30 minutes of your time. That probably is more like an hour, because you've probably Googled them, looked at their company website, looked at their socials, done a little bit of background work to know what you're actually going into and what they actually need. So
Well, Lynn, this has been fascinating. First of all, I didn't even know that you liked to write and that you did a blog. Like when I thought Lynn, I thought Pinterest. That I didn't know you had all of these extra things that you do, and that's amazing. Um, so in Cheryl and I have a membership, and it's a Cha-Ching Chats membership. And um, if people want to join, we'll put that link down below. But Lynn is offering a special gift that will be available only to Cha-Ching Chat membership members. And also, we will put the link down below for your virtual assistant challenge. And I truly hope everyone goes and joins this challenge, because then you can just learn so much more about side hustles.
I went through one of Lynn's first challenges.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think it may have been the first challenge that
Yeah.
she ever did. And I want to tell you, my mind was blown. Like I said, I learned how to better manage my own business by going through her how to be a virtual assistant challenge. Better manage my own business. Things to look for in other people, things to look for inside of my business. There was so much that I learned that had nothing to do with me hiring a virtual assistant, but had everything to do with me running my own business. So even if you don't, I want to encourage everyone. If you don't think you need a virtual assistant, or you don't want one right now, maybe you will in the future, go through her challenge anyway. Like she said, you don't have to be there every day. All the stuff will be available afterwards. You can download the things, you can watch the videos. Absolutely be there live if you can be, though, because she's phenomenal. But yeah, do it anyway. Do it anyway, because you're going to learn something that you didn't know that you needed to know.
It will definitely better your business by learning what you need, what you should help organize also. So thank you, ladies, so much. We will put all the links down below, including Lynn's Facebook group, Lynn's membership, Lynn's, I don't know if we want to put Lynn's mom's group down below, but comment down below and let us know if you want links to Lynn's mom's group. And
just add all the things.
We'll add everything. And thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
and
thank you
thanks,
guys
Lynn,
for having me.
being here. We will see you guys next week.
Thank you again, Lynn.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.